Hello everyone, welcome to another video. Time for round 6 of the FIA Manufacturers Cup exhibition season 2019, and for this round we are at Tokyo Expressway, East Outer Loop, and it is in the rain. It's group 3 cars, fuels at ×2, tyres at ×10, and we have the choice of racing intermediates and racing heavyweights. Now we're just taking a wee look at the details on the screen there. So moving on to some footage. We're in the Group 3 Porsche RSR. Thought I would do my testing on an MR car as they are considered to be better in the wet conditions, but we'll take a look at the difference between MR and FR cars a little bit later in the video. Okay, well, we've got the fuel meter on the screen. I think that's a good place to start. So a little bit of fuel management will be required in this race, even in cars that are good on fuel. But when I say fuel management, I mean literally keep a very small eye on it, because fuel is not too much of a problem for cars that are good on fuel. And I do believe that I think any Group 3 car with a little bit of fuel management should be able to do the duration of the race without refueling. Obviously with the number of Group 3 cars there is, I can't really test that. But fuel, something to keep an eye on, but I don't think it's going to be too much of a factor. What I would say though is take the hit on the fuel saving in the race rather than at a pit stop. I think that would be a much quicker way to make the fuel last for the race. Okay, this run here is a one-stop run that we're going to do, so we're not doing too much tyre management. As you can see, the rear tyres on the Porsche are wearing out quite quickly, but because most of the corners are sort of high speed and usually downforce, you don't feel the tyre wear too much, except until you come to the end of the stints. Where you will feel it though is in this corner here, getting the traction down out the slow hairpin. It's not too bad for the first 4 laps, but after that you might start to feel you have to just be a little bit more careful on the throttle coming out of that corner. So we're coming up here to finish our 6th lap on the tyres. You can see we've got the fuel right on point. We've not done a whole lot of fuel saving over that stint, but the fuel is working out just nicely. And the lap time's pretty consistent. The tyre wear and the fuel correlating quite nicely to sort of keep the lap times nice and consistent. So we'll jump forward the lap here. That was the end of lap 6. We're going to come into the pits here and see how long a pit stop takes. As you can see, the rear tyre's pretty worn. So new set of boots, no fuel required, and back out we go. And you can see that is very quick. The in lap there only being, what's that, 3.3 seconds slower than a normal lap. However, as you exit the pit, you're always going a lot slower than what you would be in a normal lap. So that run from the pit exit down to the first corner costs about another 5 seconds over a normal lap. So I put the pit loss in at about 9 seconds by the time you get to this first corner where we are now. So we've got our fresh boots on. Let's jump forward a little bit and see what the benefit of those tyres are. Here we are coming to the end of lap 14. If we take a look at our lap just after our pit stop there, laps 9 and 10, we're down into the 208s, the mid 208s. By the end of our first stint we were approaching the 210s. So a significant gain in lap time over the worn tyres. And obviously if we were to stay out, and we will take a look at the one stopper just a little bit, if we were to stay out, obviously the gain on lap time is going to increase over the worn tyres. So we've kept the lap times pretty decent there, up from between laps 9 to lap 13, but we're just starting to suffer a little bit with tyre wear again towards the end of the stint. Slightly longer stint, the second one, 7 laps in the first stint, 8 laps in the second one. So car is lighter on fuel, so it should be a little bit better on tyre wear, but as we come towards the end of the last lap, you can see the tyre wear Still pretty significant on the rear tyres. The lap times, quite consistent, not too much drop off between our first flying lap on the new tyres and the last one. So the finishing time there for the one stop is a 32:34.4. So keep that time in mind as we take a look at the non-stop. So questions on the screen there, can you no stop? Well, yes you can. And up till about lap 11-12, it doesn't actually look like too bad a strategy. You can see we're on to lap 10 here on our non-stop run, and the lap time there on lap 9 is a 2:09.6. Now that's quite competitive, even with our first couple of flying laps and even our fastest lap on lap 5 there. Now what the difference I've done here is just trying to look after the rear tyres a little bit more into the turns 1 and 2, particularly accelerating at turns 2 and accelerating out the hairpin, just trying to minimise the wheel spin. This fast chicane here, another example, just a quick upshift into 4 for the second part, so you're not spinning the wheels on exit. What I will say though is around about this lap on lap 10 is where excuse me, you start to feel the rear tyres giving up grip a little bit. Even in these faster corners you've got to be a little bit slower on the throttle. Even here on lap 10 you can see the tyre wear on the rear is quite significant, and we still have 5.5 laps to go at this point. So it seems obvious that we're going to start struggling towards the end of the race. Particularly in this corner that we're coming up to. This hairpin is where all the lap time gets lost. We're only 2 tenths down on our fastest lap, 2/3 of the way through the lap, but as you can see here, we're struggling to get the power down out the hairpin. We've lost 6 tenths just in that corner alone. So we'll jump forward here to the halfway through the last lap on the non-stop. You can see the lap times have dropped off from lap 10 to lap 14. We're approaching the upper end of the 11s, and by this last lap here the tyres are gone. You can just see how much I'm struggling to get the car around the corners. Every single acceleration zone the back end's wanting to snake out. As we come into the hairpin here on extremely rear and worn tyres, we actually get the car stopped, not too bad, but the back end tries to step out as we turn in. We have to correct that. That puts us wide, and as we try to get the power down, I really have to sort of be so ginger on the throttle. Our lap time has been destroyed just by that hairpin. So by the last lap the tyres have completely died. Even in laps 13 and 14 the one stop's doing low 209s at that point. So you're giving up 2 seconds a lap. To cross the line, the finishing time for the non-stop goes up, it's a 32:42. That's 8 seconds slower than the one stop. Now there's a sort of there's a lot of talk that the FR cars are at a disadvantage to the MR cars in the wet. However, these conditions here, and I haven't actually discussed this at any point, these conditions are actually intermediate conditions. So you're going to be using intermediate tyres for this race. Don't use the heavy wets. You can get the car around no problem with the heavy wets, but they are slower. They don't have the same amount of grip and they wear out quicker. So the FR cars, you can see the lap times there, quite comparable to the Porsche's MR lap times. FR cars are a little bit more tricky to get out the hairpin just because they've not got the weight over the rear tyres like the MR cars do. But on balance, very comparable with the way they drive and how they get the lap time. FR cars also wear out the rear tyres quicker than the front tyres, so that is something to keep in mind. And that actual lap time there from the Corvette that we were in is a 208.9, which is actually a very, very good lap time for that stage of the race. So I'll leave you some replay footage and a few bullet points on the screen, just what I've learned over my testing. My recommendation, this is a one-stopper all the way. The tyres die at the end of the non-stop. despite your best efforts to look after them. Save fuel if you need to. Avoid taking fuel on at the pit stop. That'll be easier for some cars than others. The Porsche, the RCZ, the Ferrari. Trying to think of other cars that are good with fuel saving. Should imagine that a problem. Cars that will have more trouble, something like the Ford GT is probably going to have to do a bit more fuel management than most cars. But as I said, get the fuel saving done during the race. Don't take on fuel at the pit stop. One stop around about lap 7 or 8, and of course keep the car out the wall, because the wall penalties will cost you a lot. So good luck in your races. Hope you get good results. Hope this video was useful for learning a few bits and bobs about the race. Thanks for watching, and I shall see you on the next one. Goodbye.